Just another notification. Every 10 minutes. 80 sessions. 2,617 clicks per day. We spend 3 hours and 15 minutes on our phone every day. But why is that? We spend so much time on our phone. That really normal? Maybe there's something we should do about it.
I am a wanderer and a mountain climber, Zarathustra said to his heart. What returns, what finally comes home to me is my own self. Alas, I have begun my loneliest walk. But whoever is of my kind cannot escape such an hour. The hour which says to him, only now are you going your way to greatness. Peak and abyss, they are now joined together. For all things are baptized in a well of eternity and lie beyond good and evil.
You remember when you check your phone for something, but get distracted, and 5 minutes later you don't even know what you were here for? That happened to me. That still happens to me many times. But is that normal? Research shows that the average human attention span has constantly decreased over the years. We train ourselves every day, many times, to constantly be distracted. I want to get rid of that problem, I don't want to be stressed or distracted all the time. Let's search for a solution. So I was searching, and soon found a solution. To get rid of the problem at its root cause. I'm not talking about smashing your phone. I'm talking about turning all notifications off. Getting the phone as far away as possible. And it worked. For a week. I thought disabling all notifications was the simple solution to get rid of the problem, to increase my attention span, to not waste more time on my phone. After a week, in the back of my head, I got a craving. I got a craving to check the apps manually. To see if I got a new message on WhatsApp, to check if someone posted a new story on Instagram. Basically, I was craving to check my phone. And in that moment, I knew that the notifications were only the tip of the iceberg. There was something deeper behind it.
Philosophy, as I have so far understood and lived it, means living voluntarily among ice and high mountains, seeking out everything strange and questionable in existence, everything so far placed under a ban by morality. The ice is near, the solitude tremendous, but how serenely all things lie in the light, how freely one breathes, how much one feels lies beneath oneself.
The problem wasn't the short attention span or the notifications. The problem is a chemical combination of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. The problem was what we call dopamine. In some way, we are all addicted. Dopamine provides that feeling of pleasure and reward. But there is a big problem. The problem is clear. It's not dopamine itself. The problem is our repeated exposure to cheap dopamine. You see, our phones, especially social media, is designed to provide that continuous reward, that trigger of dopamine. And our brain is smart. Our brain seeks balance. Once it gets flooded with dopamine, it downregulates the receptors, making us less sensitive to dopamine. You see the big problem? Us getting all that dopamine from those useless activities such as scrolling, such as checking our phone, and so on. We'll make other activities like going for a walk, going outside, doing something useful, working towards a goal. We'll make those less rewarding. The stakes are high. Spending dopamine on the right activities can make the difference between living your dream life or wasting your time. We are all addicted in some way. The only question is, where do we get our dopamine from? Every time I felt need to check my phone, my body was desperately craving for dopamine. But that cheap dopamine wasn't satisfying. After every session I felt worse than before. At that point I knew something needed to change. We need to make a decision. Where do we want to spend our dopamine on? Activities which release dopamine but also provide fulfillment and overall happiness? Or activities which also release dopamine but at the end will leave us worse than before? Once I understood that mechanism, I got a big breakthrough in my personal smartphone use. Every time I get the craving to check my phone, to scroll through Instagram, I ask myself, okay, do I want to spend that dopamine for that pleasure reward now? Or maybe do I save it for some more fulfilling, more useful activities later?
And so onwards, along a path of wisdom, with a hearty tread, a hearty confidence. However you may be your own source of experience. Throw off your discontent about your nature. Forgive yourself, your own self. You have it in your power to merge everything you have lived through, false starts, errors, delusions, passions, your loves and your hopes, into your goal with nothing left over. My principal article of faith is that one can only flourish among people who share the identical ideas and the identical will. I have no one. That is my sickness. If, adopting a popular manner, I recommend Schopenhauer or Wagner to the Germans or conjure up Zarathustra's, these are my remedies. Above all else, they are hiding places where I can lose myself for a time.
the end, it's not about banning or destroying our phone. It's about making conscious decisions where we spend our time on. Time is running out, but this is just another notification.